Work involved in the festival starts months ahead, of course, and intensifies as the weekend approaches. The setting up of our venue is the first major task. The complex is spotless, the backstage crew are ready, the director is relaxed. The front of house helpers gear up for the busy weekend. The ticket sellers are in place. The cameraman's at the ready. The raffle looks spectacular. The audience arrives. The competition begins. The bar and catering staff are at the ready to cater for breakfast, through to supper, and everything in between, of course. Then there is the Sunday barbecue. The ravening hordes descend for the much enjoyed social event. But at least the crew gets fed too. We are, of course, dependent upon our audience for their ongoing attendance. Over the years we have subjected them to a number of changes in both venue and dates. But in recent years it has undoubtedly been the choice of plays that has had the greatest impact. In the early years entries were almost always traditional fare, but now the audiences have no expectation of the expected. Language, themes and even action are increasingly pushing the boundaries.
Well, I really like the variety of plays, like the ones that are very confronting always interest me. Well, they really challenge the audience, they challenge you as an audience member, and you don't see them in the mainstream theatre.
Have you ever walked out of a...
No, I have never walked out of a play, always stayed. There was one quite a few years ago, I think it was A Man Condemned. That was a very confronting play set in a prison.
There are now fewer traditional companies and increasingly more independent festival groups, some of which are regulars, others of which might only appear once. These graphs show how the mainstream societies have gradually given way to groups whose focus is the festival circuit.
From an independent group point of view, it gives us the opportunity to test new plays. When you do a play through a mainstream theatre, you need to get the approval through the committee, and there's quite a lot of red tape. But with independent group, you can just do whatever you want within parameters. So you can write whatever you want, and you can, I guess, test the waters and test things out that you probably wouldn't get the opportunity to elsewhere.
We were part of a mainstream group for festival reasons, but we went independent because it allowed us a little bit more scope to up the level to where we wanted to be, and to be able to compete with other people on the circuit because the theatre's at such a high standard. And coming to Ipswich, the first year we came, we were welcomed so much and loved by so many, and it was really, it became one of the big festivals where you get together because we stay down here, and it's a whole weekend experience. It's not just to drop your stuff, get on stage, get off stage, go home. So it's a full weekend experience. That's why we love it.
Well, for me, coming to Ipswich is like coming home. It's like being welcomed back into your family after having been away for a year. It's a great theatre to perform in because of the intimacy, and it's just a very important part of the circuit.
The powerhouse of any festival is backstage, where the real-life dramas occur. Craig Taylor has been behind the scenes since 1973, with only 3 exceptions. Many others have given support in this vital area. Crews arrive with all manner of props, and while it may at times look chaotic, from an audience perspective, things run like clockwork. In recent years, the stage managers have given their own award to the most organised and considerate cast. The task of director over the 60-year period has been shared by a small group of 9 people. It is neither a predictable nor easy job, as there is so much variation from year to year. Much can be done in advance, in particular the vital selection of the adjudicator, of whom there have been 48. But much more is not able to be finalised until the last entry is received. Beryl Johnston, Paddy Pratt, Helen Puller, Robin Flashman, Linda Shapcott, Yvonne Gardner, Majella Gee and others have served over the years as festival secretaries, providing essential assistance. Whether groups are regulars or new to the festival, Our liaison officers assist greatly in keeping them happy and calm.
For many years I worked at our drama festival doing liaison, providing a warm welcome to visiting groups and being available generally to help resolve any last minute crises. Well, a couple of years ago there was a crisis indeed. A visiting group had decided they would be unable to go on because of the illness of one of their adult cast members. So the children in the production were particularly disappointed because they'd been rehearsing for months and travelled for quite some time to get here for the performance. So, can I help? Said this very helpful little liaison person. With an hour and a half to go before the performance, I had time to learn some lines, obtain a costume from our theatre wardrobe, do a bit of quick reblocking, reorganise the adult roles a little bit, and go down and do a performance as an over-the-top stage mother. In the true tradition of theatre, the show went on. I was very embarrassed later to receive a phone call from our President Judy Grant to let me know I'd won an Adjudicator's Award for my performance. I was especially embarrassed since there were a lot of fine performances from actors who'd put in a great deal of effort to perform at the theatre. In retrospect, however, that award was a lovely recognition of the camaraderie and the sense of caring and sharing that can occur between fellow theatre folk. And I can live with the ribbing I got from my theatre friends who said that some people will do anything just to get an award.
Over the years, both Lorraine Wilson and Betty Rose have made a significant contribution as scribes for our hard-working adjudicators.
Well, I remember one particular year, 1982, when Jennifer Debenham was the adjudicator. I scribed and I would write down different comments that she'd make. And then when it came to the deciding factor as to who won, we actually had a meeting in the ladies' toilet and I knew firsthand who the winners were.
In 2002, Yvonne Gardner approached me to see if I could help out with scribing for the adjudicator. The adjudicator at the time was Val Lehman, and surprise, surprise, 12 years later I'm still doing the same job. My job basically consists of reading the scripts. Because the theatre is so small and so intimate, scribing really doesn't work because everyone would hear in the theatre what the adjudicator's comments were. So basically I read the plays, checking for any missed cues or conversations. I make tea and coffee and basically sit up there and look beautiful.
There has always been an incredible workforce supporting both the festival director and the performers.
The other thing I remember vividly about the festival was the professionalism of all the people involved, the organisation, the administration, and those involved in the day-to-day running of the festival. Not only professional though, but extremely friendly and warm, as befits a community theatre.